Well, John, I'm in the dungeon for a very good reason. You see, the game Dungeons and Dragons is sweeping the country, and it's not just a game for kids. People of all ages play it, and with me is Tim Olsen, who works at the game's British importers, and he's here to unravel, for the uninitiated, some of its secrets. Now, Tim, there's an enormous game going on in the background, but tell me, what is this Dungeons and Dragons about?
Well, basically, it's a role-playing game where they assume the characters as they play them, as if they were actually in a dungeon and playing and fighting monsters and creatures.
Now, doesn't it stem from war games?
In a sense, the actual company that brought the game out was originally a war games company, but it's grown from that, so that war games, I would say, is a very small part of it. It's more experience instead of war and killing.
So it's better, it's more adventurous, more creative.
More fun.
Yeah. Oh, we've got something coming across the screen at the moment, a chariot. I don't know whether you can see it. What are the names of the characters that are in these?
Well, there's a lot of different names. That was a gnoll chariot, and there's orcs and goblins, and then you get the regular mythological creatures, three-headed dogs.
The regular mythology.
Yeah, regular ones.
Is it all based on mythology, in fact?
Well, in a sense, a lot of the actual monsters in the game find their roots in mythology, Greek, Roman, everything like that. But a lot of them are just created from the players' minds.
Yeah. Now, we've got... what's this coming across? We've got a dragon playing a saxophone.
No, that's a joke. That was just a fun figure done for the shop.
Yeah.
Exactly what it is, just a saxophone playing.
But you could, I mean, in the game, you could actually have a dinosaur who suddenly picked up a saxophone and started confusing everybody.
Well, sure, that's the whole point of the game is imagination.
Yeah.
So you create whatever you want.
Now, let me talk to this group at the back. Gavin. Gavin, you are the Dungeon Master.
Yes.
Now, what does that mean exactly?
Well, Dungeon Master is in charge of the dungeon. He's the one that draws up all the dungeon and populates it with monsters.
Do you get it from a book, or do you make up your own dungeon?
Well, you can buy dungeons from a book, but this particular one I've made up myself.
And it looks as if it's pretty difficult. John, tell me, has he made up a really difficult dungeon?
Pretty difficult, yeah.
Are you lost?
Yeah.
What's the name of your character?
Dengor.
Dengor. Where'd you get that from?
I just made it up.
Is he good?
It's pretty good, yeah.
Pretty good. What's the trick up your sleeve about your character? What's his really special characteristic?
Well, I use magic.
Fine. Rick, what do you use with your character?
Just use sheer strength.
Sheer strength?
Got a fire character.
Now listen, does this sort of reflect a bit of your own inner personality? Or would fantasy personality?
Well, I think it's just a fun game.
Yeah. Now, John Paul, I have to call you John Paul because the other one's John, right?
Yeah.
John Paul. How long is this game likely to last?
It can last any length of time, just as long as your character's life is still alive.
So your character... Tim, this is frightening me. Your character can die. Now, how does your character die?
Well, if he comes up against a monster or a spell that kills him, see, each player has a certain number of hit points, which is allocated by dice.
Yeah.
If he should be killed by dragons, such as this one, then his character would be taken out of the game, and then the player could roll up another character using the dice and come into the game at another point as a different character.
Yeah. Now, this game has got a mass of books with it.
Yeah.
And I know I've got one here that says... Kishi Jotun is a Japanese, from the Japanese mythos, and the words are absolutely lovely. The use of words, you've got dexterity, her special defenses, magic resistance, alignment. She is a goddess of luck. Do you think this is a good game to learn language with as well?
Well, definitely. A lot of schools have been in touch with Games Workshop to ask if they can have the books for their schools as library books.
As library books?
As library books. They actually get them into the library and play them in school groups.
Actually, I must say, my son, when he was interviewed for his school, he was asked, did he play any war games? And he said, yes, Dungeons and Dragons. And they said, right, you're in, which is really very nice. Is it played all over the world?
I'm not so sure. I think America and England are the two main groups of players.
Yeah.
We have a lot of, like, French people who are playing, Belgians. It's growing.
Yeah.
Basically still an English-speaking game.
And it's quite expensive, because a character like this lovely flying dragon, is that a flying dragon?
Yeah, that's the Citadel Imperial Dragon.
And it costs quite a bit.
Yeah, it's very much a collector's figure.
It sounds really good. We're not going to let these people go away. Tim Olsen, thank you very, very much. And we're going to take a break now. Don't forget, if you'd like to ask Kenneth Williams, our special phoning guest this morning, a question, phone us now on 01404040401. And after the break, it's hula hoops and Johnny Notes.